Hello everyone, here I am present with another video of my PhD interview experience. In this video, I'm going to talk about my PhD interview experience at the Department of Physical Science, CSIR National Physical Laboratory, Delhi. This interview was in the offline mode, and in the Department of Physical Science, about 80 to 90 students were shortlisted for the interview, and finally 22 students were selected. In the interview, there were about 8 faculty members, and first of all, they asked me about my introduction, and then they asked me about my master's thesis project. I explained in detail my master's project, which was related to quantum computing. And then they asked me about my research interests, like what kind of topic I'm interested in to work on at NPL and why. And they asked me whether I am aware about the kind of research happening at the NPL. So I said that I'm interested in quantum metrology. It's the project in which I was interested is about single photon detector. So they asked me whether you have read about that. Before the interview, actually, I went through the departmental website page and I studied about this single photon detector. So I explained that in detail in the interview. So it's always advisable that before the interview you should go through the departmental web page and try to get the information about like what kind of research they are doing. It's always useful in the interviews. And then after that, one of the professor asked me about like what are the favorite subjects. What are your favorite subjects? So this question is being asked, I think, at most places. Like they give you choices. What are your favorite subjects? Then they will ask you questions from those subjects only. And I think 90% questions are being asked from those two subjects which you mentioned in the interview. So I talked about quantum mechanics and condensed matter physics. Then one of the professor asked me a question that, can you explain in detail what is the significance of Heisenberg's uncertainty relation by providing some example? Okay, and after that, one of the professor asked me a question about beta decay and why can't an electron reside inside the nucleus? And after these two questions, one of the professor asked me about what do you mean by metrology? Because at NPL Delhi they are doing research around the field of metrology. So they started asking me questions about that, like what do you mean by metrology, and what do you mean by these? Explain these SI system of units and. Uh, then one of the professor asked me a question from PN junctions to explain the concept about that. And then another professor asked me that whether I do have some practical experience in electronics. So I think all the professors interacted with me. Yeah, there were about 7 to 8 questions were asked. And this interview was, I think it went for 15 minutes. Yeah. And after that, yeah, and I got selected at NPL Delhi also. So this was my experience at NPL. If you have any query or any kind of doubt, you can ask in the comment box. I will try to reply.